Modern day war has nothing to do with our need to survive. Modern day war has nothing to do with that innate drive that every human being and every creature in this world has to actually fight for their lives. Because modern day war is based on the interests of a very small amount of people and on a power structure that has nothing to do with our nature as human beings. And this power structure, what it does is it builds on our hardwiring. We are hardwired to want to survive. We are hardwired to want to fight for our lives. But the wars that are being waged today have nothing to do with that sacred desire to want to fight for your life, that true and righteous desire to want to fight for a dignified existence. What happens is that these big power structures, they put us in a system, they put us in a society, they put us in a matrix where we believe that somehow our existence, our dignified existence, can only happen if we continue to exploit others. They tell us that somehow scarcity is something taken for granted, that the resources we have in the world are scarce, so we need to continue fighting each other so that we can survive as a specific community, versus another community. But the truth is, the billions and trillions of dollars that have been channeled into modern day warfare, if they were channeled into science and technology and innovation, most of the resources that we call scarce today would actually not be scarce. We would be living in much more abundance than we live in today. So that whole argument that war happens because somehow this is a fundamental part of human nature is absolute bullshit. This brings us to the third part of our talk when we talk about war and spirituality. It is not some spiritual hoo-ha to talk about spirituality. It's actually very true. It's actually very realistic and pragmatic to say that there are forces of nature that manifest in people and manifest in power structures that express a certain universal point of view that is based on exploitation, that is based on power struggle, that is based on a misidentification that there is me and that there is them, and that we need to fight and we need to kill and we need to exploit for us to be able to survive. And that is why I think even in the ancient Indian traditions, they talk about Dharmic wars and Adharmic wars, wars of righteousness, which were normally fought with dignity. The cause should be also a dignified cause. There should be no exploitation. There are ethics and rules to war. And Adharmic wars that are actually fought without any rules. Wars that are fought in complete chaos. Wars that are fought for reasons that have nothing to do with truth. And I can tell you for a fact that all of the wars that are being fought today, the major wars that we see on the news, they are all Adharmic wars. They are all wars that are not fought for truth. The only wars maybe today that are fought for truth are the ones that we have in our everyday life as individuals and as humans, with our friends and with our co-workers and with our families and with our enemies as individuals. Those can potentially be righteous wars and righteous battles that we have to fight. The only thing we can do in such a situation is just be present in our truth as individuals, because inside of our hearts, each and every one of us, there is a stillness, there is a truth. And no matter how many hours of Instagram reels or YouTube or news that we watch, that fundamental stillness and that fundamental truth can never be taken away and it can never be shaken. And that is the fundamental truth that we need to focus on during very difficult times, because what we hear on the outside is so much separation, is so much exploitation, are so many arguments of right and wrong, and it is all bullshit. Because all of this theater of war has nothing to do with truth. It has nothing to do with our fundamental processes in the way we live, truly live in this world and experience this world. The only war worth fighting is actually the war that helps us connect more and more with our essence as humans and with the stillness that's within our hearts. And this is not some philosophical cliche that I'm saying. This is a truth. It is a truth that has been echoed throughout history, and I feel it is so relevant today. So how can we fight back? We can fight back by doing our duty to protect ourselves, to protect those around us, to help those that are in need, but most importantly, not to lose connection with the truth that is inside of us. Whoever you might be, wherever you might be in the world, I hope you are safe, and I hope that you are always connected to truth.